All right, in this video, we're going to cover installing the Digital Factory software, which comes with your Crio printer. Regardless if you're using the Crio 8432 WDT or the Crio 9541 WDT, the process is going to be the same. What you're going to do is you're going to click on Get Started. Keep in mind, this is all located at the mycrio.com website. You're going to go to Get Started, click on Drivers and Downloads. Then you're going to see your printer listed either on the left side of the page or the right side of the page. What you're going to do is come down to the Digital Factory RIP software. You do not need to download the printer driver. Again, you do not need to download the printer driver. What you're going to do is you're going to find the version of the software that you want to download. If you have a new printer post May 20th of 2023, you're going to download version 11. If you purchased your printer prior to May 20th of 2023, then you're going to download version 10. It's important to note that this video is going to cover the version 11 of the software. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and click download version 11 here. And you're going to want to save it into your downloads folder. Once you're done, you can go ahead and minimize this window and go to your downloads folder. And you're going to run the Digital Factory version 11 toner transfer trial. You have a couple options here. If you have the 9541, you want to run the Digital Factory Toner Transfer Pro. If you have the 8432, you want to download and run the Digital Factory version 11 toner transfer. Again, if you have the 9541, you're going to download the Pro. If you have the 8432, you're going to download just a normal toner transfer. Do not download any of the Design Pro options or the Digital Factory version Design Pro. Your code will only activate for the Digital Factory 11 alone, either the toner transfer edition or the Pro. Choose the one you want to run, click Next, and it's going to download your software for you. Once the software downloads, you're going to go ahead and click on Start. Next, you want to choose English, and it's going to start installing for you. Once you come to this screen, just click Next. You have to accept the end user license agreement, so click I accept terms of the license agreement and then click Next. Next, what you want to do is you do want to make sure that you do a full install of Digital Factory version 11 Toner Transfer Edition. Click Next. Let the default directory just be in C, Digital Factory version 11 toner transfer, and click Next. Again, just click Next, and it will start the install for you. Once it's finished installing, go ahead and click on Finish. Once the software install is done, now you have to actually open the software up, and the way you do that is you actually come down to your search bar and just type in Digital Factory. You'll see where it says Digital Factory version 11 Toner Transfer Edition. I like to do a right click, and then I like to go to Pin to Taskbar, and it will create a shortcut for you down here in the lower corner of your taskbar. Next, you can just click on an icon, and then you're going to be prompted to register your software. Click OK. You should have an activation code located on your printer. It's typically a red labeled printer. Click on Enter Activation Code. You're going to enter that number up here in the top, starts with a P, and enter the entire number. You may have a message such as this, and that just means that your activation code is just a new activation code. You can ignore any other messages that come up here. Type in your information here. Once all of your information has been put in, you'll see you get this message here that says your license has been updated. Please restart the application. Tell it OK. It's going to close down for you. Just come down here to the bottom into your taskbar, click on the icon we placed here, and your software should open up momentarily. Once it opens up, you're going to see the compass software over here. Just go ahead and close that down. And then follow the directions to install your printer. You're going to click Next for the introduction. Make sure your printer is turned on and plugged into your computer. A common mistake here is that the USB cable is plugged into the wrong port in the back of the printer. So make sure that when you plug it into the printer, it's connected to the middle port. Click Next. Then choose the Install Printer option. And you're going to choose either your Crio 8432 WDT or your Crio 9541 WDT, whichever printer you own. Let's click Next because we want to search for new printer packages from the cloud. This is going to pull down new drivers for your printer and it's going to install it for you to your computer. Click Next. Next, under port setup, make sure that it says Crio 8432 WDT, or if you have the 9541, make sure it says Crio 9541 WDT. Once done, click Next. It's going to tell you it was done and installed successfully. Click Finish. When your software opens up, it's going to open up to the new user interface. You have the option here that you can choose to keep this interface, or you can also go to View, UI mode or user interface mode, and you can choose Classic. Once you restart the software, it will take you back to the Classic interface. Just reopen the software. Again, once it opens up, we can always close down the Compass software. Now you see you have the Classic interface here. If you want to go back to the other one, the process is simple. Just go to View, UI mode or user interface mode, and choose Next Gen. Currently, we are training using the Classic mode. One of the tips that I have is to actually come up here to the word Queue, go to Manage Queues, and always make sure that your port has your Crio printer listed. Install defaults will just take it to File, so make sure you click on this drop-down box, choose your Crio printer, and then tell it Close. Next, just as kind of a quick tutorial, when you're ready to start printing something, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure of which queue you're working in here. Your queues are located here on the left-hand side of the screen. You have a photo queue, which is optimal for printing photographs, and you have a graphics queue, which is optimal for printing any kind of line art. The first thing you want to do is choose which queue you're going to print in. Next, come down here to an area called your Smart Window. You're going to choose your paper you want to print with. So if you're choosing the Magic Touch Wow, choose that paper and make sure you choose the accurate size. The larger paper is the A3 size, the smaller paper is the A4 size. Once you have all that ready and done, you're now ready to bring in your image. In order to bring an image in, simply come over here, click on the Open button here in the shortcut bar. Then you can navigate to the images that you'd like to bring in. Simply double-click the image. You may get a low resolution error. If you do, just be aware of that. Tell it OK, because most images that you want to bring in need to be at least 300 dots per inch or higher. Always make sure you're using high resolution images. Something else I want to show you also. You might notice that your image looks very, very jagged. Simply remove the image. Come over here to Tools, Options. Come down here to Preview Options. Set this to very high. Then tell it Save and Close. And now when you bring your image in, you're going to notice that you're going to get a much better view of your image here. If you're ready to send this image to the printer, all you have to do at this point is simply come over here and click on your image. Click on the printer button, and it's going to print the job. It will go to an active status, then it will go to a printing status. And once that completes, the job is going to drop down here into your reserve queue. And that right there is how you get your printer software set up and ready to go. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at themagictouchusa.com. You can also reach out to us directly at support@themagictouchusa.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and happy printing!